The Battle of Carchemish, the clash of empires that changed the ancient Middle East. Have you ever heard of the Battle of Carchemish? A clash that decided the fate of two powerful empires and changed the map of the ancient Middle East. Egyptians and Babylonians face to face in a bloody fight for control of the region. Get ready to travel back to the year 605 BC, where strategy, power, and ambition collided in one of the most defining episodes of ancient history. The Battle of Carchemish may seem like just another battle from antiquity, but its consequences were deep. It marked the fall of a millennia-old empire and the rise of a new power that would dominate Mesopotamia for decades: Babylon. In this video, you will discover who were the key players in this conflict, what was at stake, how the battle unfolded, and why it was so decisive for the history of the Middle East. Historical context. By the end of the 7th century BC, the political landscape of the region was in turmoil. The Assyrian Empire, which had been the dominant power in Mesopotamia for centuries, was collapsing. After the death of King Ashurbanipal around 627 BC, the empire quickly weakened. City-states previously under Assyrian rule began to rebel. Among them was Babylon, led by Nabopolassar, who declared independence and began a campaign to seize control of former Assyrian territory. But Assyria didn't fall alone. Pharaoh Necho II of Egypt entered the scene to try and restore order and, of course, protect Egypt's interests in the Levant. Egypt and Assyria formed an alliance against the Babylonians. The road to Carchemish, Egypt, marched north toward the city of Carchemish, a key strategic center on the banks of the Euphrates River, near today's Syria-Turkey border. Necho Seku's goal was to reinforce what remained of Assyrian power and prevent the rise of the Babylonians. But the Babylonians, now led by Nebuchadnezzar II, the son of Nabopolassar, had no intention of backing down. A confrontation was inevitable. The Babylonian strategy. Nebuchadnezzar II was a young and capable general. Upon learning of the Egyptian movement toward Carchemish, he gathered his army and marched to intercept the enemy. The Babylonians had already taken the former Assyrian capital, Nineveh, and now set their sights on Carchemish, one of the last strongholds controlled by the Egypt-Assyria alliance. Nebuchadnezzar's strategy was clear: crush the Egyptian army and seize full control of the trade route linking the Mediterranean to Mesopotamia. The battle. The battle took place in 605 BC on the plains surrounding Carchemish. On one side, the Egyptian army commanded by Necho's sound, reinforced by surviving Assyrian troops. On the other, the Babylonian forces under Nebuchadnezzar's leadership. Historical records suggest the Babylonians won decisively. The Egyptian army was utterly defeated. Many soldiers were killed, others captured. The surviving troops fled in panic, pursued by the Babylonians all the way south toward Egypt. The prophet Jeremiah in the Bible mentions this battle in Jeremiah 46:2, describing it as a major defeat for Pharaoh Necho, where the Egyptians fled without looking back. Consequences of the battle. The Battle of Carchemish had immediate and long-lasting consequences. 1. Egypt lost its influence in the Levant. Until then, the pharaohs had control over many cities in Palestine and Syria. After the defeat, they had to retreat to within Egypt's borders. 2. The Babylonian Empire was consolidated. Nebuchadnezzar II returned victorious, and soon after, with the death of his father, became king of Babylon. Under his reign, Babylon reached its peak. The city was rebuilt, its defenses strengthened, and its territory expanded. 3. The Neo-Babylonian period began. This era was marked by significant biblical events, including the Babylonian captivity of the Jews after the destruction of Jerusalem in 586 BC. Main characters: Nebuchadnezzar II, the great victor of the Battle of Carchemish. More than a skilled military leader, he was an ambitious king. He rebuilt Babylon and commissioned monumental works such as the Hanging Gardens, considered one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, though their existence is still debated. Pharaoh Necho II, king of Egypt from the 26th dynasty, he attempted to restore Egypt's former glory abroad, but failed. His campaign in Syria ended in disaster and marked the end of Egypt's ambitions outside the Nile Valley. Nabopolassar, father of Nebuchadnezzar II and founder of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Though he didn't participate directly in the Battle of Carchemish, he laid the foundation for Babylon's rise. Cultural and biblical impact. The Battle of Carchemish also echoed in biblical scriptures. As we mentioned, the prophet Jeremiah described Egypt's defeat as a sign of divine judgment on the nations. Additionally, Babylon's dominance over Palestine and Judah led to fundamental events in Jewish history, such as the destruction of Solomon's temple, the Babylonian exile, and the cultural influence of Mesopotamian customs on the Hebrews. In other words, the victory at Carchemish had religious, political, and cultural consequences that lasted for centuries. Closing. The Battle of Carchemish was more than just a military encounter. It was a turning point between 2 eras, the end of Egyptian and Assyrian dominance and the beginning of Babylonian rule. So did you know about this battle? Did you realize it had such a deep impact on the ancient world? Leave your comment below. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more historical content like this. The past is full of forgotten battles that shaped our present. History is not just about dates and names, it is the stage where great figures made decisions that changed the course of humanity. See you in the next video.